spiders on his climb to the top. The highest post was his aspiration. But he forgot to read the fine print in the contract that he signed, which caused a U-turn to his final destination. He continued on his pathway of destruction and decay, never thinking that his wicked life would end. He never did take stock that the devil is not mocked, and all those broken fences will not mend.
Another politician has just taken center stage. He tells all the people that he loves them so. He comes on like a sage, says with him they should engage. A false prophet selling endless empty pro. He feels no lament for the lives that he spent. A jackal who thinks he can't be touched. But there will come a day when the devil's birds of prey paint their canvas with his lost soul's carrion brush.
He was with his favorite call girl and his black limousine, doing lines of coke and drinking cold champagne. When it heard the distant rumble of 1,000 bat-like wings, an explosion which caused his ears to pain. His mind was filled with terror as the limo roofs were severed by iron talons that grabbed his soul. There were visceral screams and moans and the sound of crushing bones as the birds from hell flew him to his new home.
Another politician has just taken center stage. He tells all the people that he loves them.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give $1 or $2. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support. Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
And just waiting for that thundercloud to pass by, which it just did. We got Calvin Parker on now. Him and his buddy are been put into a room. Did they lock the door on you by any chance there, Calvin?
No, I don't. They didn't lock the door that night. I don't think they did. They kind of closed it, and they all backed up in the hall. So I would have been afraid to run out because there was pretty big deputies there.
Oh wow! So here you are in this room, and do you have any assumption that you're probably being listened to?
I have no clue. Now you think about it. I was a 19-year-old little redneck boy that never has been anywhere or done nothing, never even got to watch much TV when I was coming up. We was allowed to watch on Sundays that Walt Disney show, and that was about the brunt of TV.
Oh, wow. So,
but they had us...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. They had us locked in this room, or I say locked. They had us in this room. We had no idea a tape recorder was there. Me and Charlie had done talked about not telling anybody. Well, I was pretty upset at him by then. But we started talking between ourselves. And Charlie asked me while we was in there, "You okay, son?" I said, "Well, I felt like I stepped on a damn rattlesnake. You know, that's how scared it scared me." And we was talking about more or less what had happened to us in there in private conversation. And then we seen one of the deputies coming back in there, and we just quit talking. We just kind of shut up because they had already told me that if this is a hoax, you're fixing to go to jail for a long time. Well, I knew it wasn't a hoax, But, you know, in any court of law, until you prove yourself, and I didn't figure this out until I got a lot older, until you prove yourself innocent, you're really guilty. They arrest you, they take your money, they lock you up, and you got to spend money to prove that you're innocent. So, you know, I just wasn't there with all that. I just didn't want to talk about none of it. But what they did, the sheriff came in, Fred Diamond, who was sheriff then, and he reached in his under a desk there and pulled something out. Now, I thought he was just getting something out of a drawer or something. I wasn't paying much attention. Well, they left the room. Well, I seen 2 or 3 of them ganged up outside, but what they was doing was listening to this tape recorder. Well, when they came back in to see us, the sheriff come in this time, and he was real humble, and his attitude had really changed a lot. He was a complete different man than what everybody was, and all the deputies were too when they came back in. And I asked him when we could get to go. He told me, he said, "Look, son, I'll talk to y'all in the morning. I need to see y'all tomorrow, but I'll come find y'all, and y'all go home and get some rest." Now, the next morning, the sheriff gave a press release that there was no doubt in his mind that we went through something. Now, he didn't say an alien abduction or anything like that, but he said that these men had experienced something traumatic. Well, they let us get out, and they let me drive us on home, and we putted on to Charlie's house. Well, we got to his house, and I had talked to one of the deputies, and I had talked to Charlie. You know, I know what happened. I know something happened to us. I don't know what happened or who it was, but I watched these Apollo missions on TV, and I seen when they come back out of space, they would quarantine them even from their families for 7 days. Nobody would go around them. So the thought of this was kind of making me feel like I had some kind of disease or something. And I was worried about exposing everybody to radiation. So I brought that up to Charlie when we was going home. I said, "You know, Charlie, we might need to get checked before we go around anybody's family or anybody else, because we could kill off the whole planet if we got one of these viruses that explodes on you." And he said, "Don't worry about it, son. We'll get checked out later. Don't worry about it." Well, I knew I was dead anyhow if we had anything, so I just quit worrying about it. We got home. I did take a precaution, though. I went to my room, or I was renting a room from Charlie, so I went back to that back bathroom, and there was a gallon of bleach sitting on the tub, and I had brought, back then, they didn't have plastic bags or anything, and I didn't have a suitcase, so when I moved in over there, I brought a paper bag with me full of clothes. And I took all my clothes off, even my shoes, and I put them in this paper bag. I got over in the bathtub, and I got this gallon of bleach, and I just turned it over my head and poured it all down me and rubbed it in. Then I turned the shower on and washed it off. Now, that's how I thought, you know, that we might be exposed to something, and I didn't want to expose anybody else. And I always remembered, when me and my brother would go out and play, Mama was a fanatic about bathing us and all. I mean, she'd even wash her mouth out with soap a lot sometimes. But when we come in, if we'd been out in poison ivy or just out in the mud or something, she'd put a little bleach in her bath water and wash us. And I thought about that, and I remember her saying, you know, that'll take care of anything. Of course, it does. It brings your hair out and bulges your skin, turns colors on you. So I went in there and I put on some clothes. I took that bag out to the dumpster, and Charlie and his wife was still in there talking. What about? I don't know. Don't really care. And I came back, and I was going to lay down and sleep. That was one of the longest nights I ever spent in my life. I was laying there thinking instead of sleeping, and I couldn't sleep. So about 6 the next morning, I said, well, we need to get out of bed and go to work. We got to go to work. So I jumped up out of bed, went in there, and Charlie was setting up drinking coffee. I said, you ready for work? Yeah. Okay, so we left and drove into the F.B. Walker and Son shipyard. Now, I don't know how many cars were supposed to be there because this is just my second day at work. We got a piece of brass, and they got a number on a piece of brass, and you hand that in, and it's like punching a time card. You give it to them when you get there, and they give it to you when you leave, and they write your time down. So we brassed in, went to our workstations, and we didn't even get to the workstations good. Now, I noticed a lot of cars in the parking lot, and they called our names on the intercom and sent somebody out of the office to get us. And I thought, oh, Lord, what now? So when we got to the office, the owner of the shipyard come in. He said, look, we can't conduct any kind of business here. We can't even answer our own phones because they're ringing off the hook. Y'all can't work on the yard because people's going to be wanting to talk to y'all. There's nothing we can do. We need to give a press release. And I didn't want to admit that anything happened. I said, well, talk to Charlie. So the owner of the shipyard called their attorney, which was Joe Flamingo, and he came down, and Charlie gave a press release to him. I told Charlie, I said, you leave my name out of this. So anyhow, Charlie gave out a press release, and apparently Joe went out and he talked to everybody. Well, about the time all this was going on, the sheriff, Fred Diamond, showed up and his lead detectives. And they said, we need to get y'all to the hospital and have you checked. Remember you talking last night, you said you need to be checked. So they took us to the Singing River Hospital in Pascagoula, Mississippi. And I'll never forget Dr. Bosco, which is 97, 98 years old right now, and he's still alive, gave us a thorough exam. They did blood work. They did everything. And he gave us the go-ahead to go. He said, y'all look fine. Y'all seem healthy. I don't believe y'all got any bacteria, but y'all need to go be checked for radiation. So, of course, we went out, got back in the patrol car, and it wasn't just a few minutes. We were sitting in front of Keesler Gates, Keesler Air Force Base, and it was about 30 miles from where this happened, or where we were, and we got there pretty quick. And when we got to the gate, they didn't shut us down or nothing. They just flagged us on through, and they had an escort in front of us, and they carried us back to a looked like a big warehouse loading dock to me. And they all had, there was about 6 of them there, and they had on hazmat suits, and they had something in their hand. They come got us out of the car, and they told everybody else back up out of the way. They checked us for radiation, which they didn't find nothing that wasn't average. And when they got through, one of the guys said, all clear, and they took their hazmat suits off. He said, now, they want to see y'all in the back. There's a conference room back there, and y'all need to go back there because they want to talk to y'all. Just straight down the end of this hall. Well, that hall seemed like it was 40 miles long time we got to the end of it. And when the doors opened up, it was a pretty good-sized conference room. Well, they had some military officials there. They had some law enforcement there from each of the coastal counties, Jackson, Harrison, and Hancock. They had the mayors from 3 counties there. And you could tell they were all concerned, and they wanted to hear the story. Now, this is the first time that I kind of sat down and told the story to them, because by this time I was more afraid of what they was fixing to do than what had happened to us.
I bet you were.
Yeah, so I figured I needed to be a little bit honest with some of these people, because they showed great concern about it.